Good morning, friends. It's June 12th, 2023, and I thought I'd do a little garden update to see what's come out over the past week or so. Last week we had a lot of rain, which we sorely needed. I was watering certain plants, but there's plants that I just can't get to, and I have to trust the rain will help out. And this is just going to be a quick little update on what's popping up. So the clove pinks are starting to bloom. They're budded out, and there they are. That's what they look like. Beautiful. I can smell them already. I have several others over here. The salvia, I think it's also known as Veronica, but I'm not sure, is all coming to bloom. Beautiful purple flowers. And the pinks, the clove pinks, are also in here, and they're coming in as well. Beautiful morning. We have a little bit of sun, and we're going to get more rain this afternoon, but that's fine. Siberian irises are all in bloom. A little bit of, I have a little patch of Artemisia here. This is a silvery green. It's called Artemisia absinthium, I believe. And back in the roaring 20s, or maybe even before that, they used to use this plant to make a drink called absinthe. And a lot of the famous authors and poets, and even Ernest Hemingway, I believe, used to drink it, and they said it was a little hallucinogenic. And they banned it, but now I think they make it, you can still buy it in a very, very lower concentrated form, so you don't hallucinate. My zinnia, I planted some zinnias here, and they're all sprouting. They're germinating, and I thinned them out, so I think those are going to do well. Everything is lush and green. The hosta bed is right down there with all the Siberian irises blooming. Lots of birds out this morning. It's just a beautiful morning. After all that rain, everything looks so green. I do have a few little Shasta daisy seedlings germinating in this bed, so we'll keep our fingers crossed. Down this way on the side of the driveway, I let these wild daisies grow, and my husband knows that he doesn't mow them down, so he just leaves them, but they're so pretty. They fill in. I have several yucca plants, and it seems like every other year they send up a spike. I don't see one this year, and it has beautiful, beautiful bell-shaped white flowers. It's almost 3 feet high. And I have those yucca. Some people call them yucca. I always call them yucca, but yucca plants. And here's all the daisies blooming. And I cleaned out that little garden here in the boulders. And there's a peony in there, and some anemone. There's some yucca, and a few other things in there. So that peony is going to be blooming. And the peony bed is starting to burst open. So I just wanted to show you that. So from up here in the driveway, that's the bleeding heart over there. And I have, these are Stella Doro, or Diorio, or whatever, daylilies, these little clumps of leaves. Those will have those yellow daylilies when they bloom. But my peonies, if you can look down, you can start to see that they're starting to pop open. And I wrote down all the names of them, and I forget some of the names, but I should have brought my paper out with me. But this one is coming in. It's got a big bud there. These dark pinks are coming. Let me walk through here. Here's another gorgeous pink. Oh, this one's a gorgeous one. I think this one might be named Duchess Demoise. I'm not sure. They all have French names. Actually, no, some of them have German names. That little geranium down there it's a miniature geranium, and that comes up every year. And we'll get down into these peonies that are starting to pop. Look at these. So I have those. That one's popping. And we'll walk down my little trail here. This was that flowering almond with those beautiful pink flowers, and she's all done and starting to put more green in. And I have to walk through the peonies. Now here's that foxglove that I just let grow, and that is, my goodness, let me walk down here. I don't know, I have to turn the camera around, but here's me, and here's that foxglove, and here's more foxglove. They're all starting to bloom, and they just reseed, so I don't know what colors they're going to be. This one is beautiful. They just reseed every year on their own. That one's a beautiful pink. Look at how gorgeous the inside is with the spots. Just so pretty. The hummingbirds go crazy. And this one's a whitish yellow with red dots. Just so pretty. And over here, oh, the bee just went into that one. And look at that. Isn't that amazing? I love foxglove. Well, you know, medicinally, foxglove is what they used to make digitalis, which is a heart medication. So in the olden days, sometimes some people, if they wanted to put out their spouse somewhere and not know what the cause was, they would give them some digitalis tea, some foxglove tea into their wine, and their heart would slow down so much and they would pass away. So it was used for nefarious reasons and also for good reasons. But that's digitalis right there. And I'm just going to turn to my right. Look at how pretty that is down there. And this lovely, here's more foxglove right here that I just let grow amongst the peonies. This is a gorgeous Festiva Maxima peony. They're pure white with little scarlet in the center and on the petals. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at how gorgeous. Those are the ones that I propagated mostly with a Festiva Maxima, but also a pink. This one's going to be a pink. She has beautiful, her outer petals are beautifully pink. And there's the reds coming in on the end over there. Maybe I'll take a quick walk around that afterwards. Some more foxglove in with the peonies. And the peonies are in my way here. I have to move them. So okay girls, sorry. Oh, look at this. I have to come out and cut. I'm going to come out and cut these and put them in the house because they're so heavy. And I didn't hoop them up this year. Look at that one. Wait a minute. Look at that. There's my hand. Here's my hand. And here's that beautiful peony. Oh, gorgeous. And she smells beautiful. Sorry about the wiggling. And there's more Festiva Maxima. These, you can see all the buds. And I have some irises blooming in here. Oh, and this one's called a seashell peony. It's not a ruffled one. It just has these beautiful pink petals and a kind of a furry yellow stamens inside. And for many, many years, this one didn't bloom. And last year, all of a sudden it bloomed, and I hadn't seen it for 15, 20, 18 years or whatever. And she bloomed. So I must have done something right by maybe weeding around her, because she's gorgeous. And we'll walk into this bed a little bit. And there's little ants on there. Hi. Look at this one. These are some of the reds. Lots of buds. There's another Festiva Maxima all through here. I'm just so tickled with this seashell that came out. Look at this color. Oh, the garden is so pretty. And the coral bells are right here. I planted them in a mass so that when they bloom, their feathery coral bells just kind of sway in the wind, and you can see the color better. More Festiva over there. And we'll stand here and look up the peony bed. And there's so many more buds that need to open all the way up to there. It's going to be a massive color. The only problem is, like I said, if it rains. And I didn't hoop them up this year. I just got so distracted that I didn't hoop them up, and I actually need to get more hoops. And on this end, we have a beautiful, this one, she's all done blooming, a pink azalea, lots of pretty daylilies. And this is my clematis, and she's growing beautifully up the arbor. Oh, she's all the way up there. And this is the one, her partner, that I thought died, and I nurtured her back, and she's coming up. And she's about that high. So these, the flowers for these, this is Clematis jackmani. They have beautiful, huge purple flowers. This side of the garden, I don't think I filmed it the last time, has lots of phlox, coral bells. There's a few milkweed that I like. I don't pull out, and I let them come in for the monarchs. They just kind of grew in here, so I left them. Lots of daylilies. Again, I have all different kind of daylilies. I'll walk up this little path. Here's more daylilies, anemones, coral bells. That's my aster. Here's a Weigela bush that almost died, and I heavily pruned it, and it's sending up new shoots, and they're flowering. So I think I'm in luck with that. And I have Gloriosa daisies that reseeded in here, and more foxglove that's growing all on through here. And Siberian iris. And we'll walk over here. In this bed, like I said, I have lots of daylilies, anemones. These daylilies are gorgeous. All different colors. I have pinks and reds and yellows. And down in here I have lady's mantle. And that is a beautiful plant. And this is an interesting plant. If you can see the dew on the leaves, there's all these little fairy tales about The fairies love that dew, so they would come out in the morning and drink all the dew. Every other plant is dry pretty much except for the lady's mantle because the moisture seems to catch on the leaves are a little bit furry, and the moisture seems to catch, and then it drips down into the middle of the leaf, and it's just beautiful. And they said that this plant, the reason why they call it lady's mantle is because back in the medieval days, the women that were nursing their babies would take the big leaves, wet them, and put them over their breasts after they finished nursing their babies so that their breasts would come back to form. And with the leaves all across the top of their chest, it looked like a mantle. So that's why they call it lady's mantle. And the other thing about this plant is that there's a, I forget the name, I think there's a high progestin or progesterone level. It increases your progestin in your body. So back then, herbalists and the women that cared for other women, midwives or whatever, they would give a tea of the lady's mantle leaves to women that were having trouble with their period or menstrual cramps. And the thing is, you do not give this plant to a pregnant woman because I think it can induce birth or labor. And I believe, if I'm correct, one of the compounds they found in this plant was salicylic acid, which is aspirin. We know as aspirin. So it has many different magical and physical qualities. These purple flowers are all catmint. I dry that for my kitty cat. It's called catmint and not catnip, but I believe it's the same thing. But it's so pretty. It has a silvery green foliage and puts up these beautiful purple flowers. And I have little carnations growing in there. So this bed is looking really nice. Over here we have my peach tree. And I had the arborist come in and heavily prune it late winter. And or actually, maybe it was the end of February, beginning of March, when we didn't have too much snow here. I think they came and pruned before we got the big snowfall. So maybe it was the end of fall, whatever. I've been getting a good harvest of peaches, making peach jelly and jam, and but this year we didn't get any blossoms because he pruned heavily, and I believe the blossoms come on year-old wood. So now that it's branching out and has so much new growth from the pruning, I think next year is going to be a good year for peaches. And we have it fenced in because the deer like to eat the leaves. And up over here we have the coral bells again. This is the Sarah Bernhardt peony that hasn't quite popped, but I give it another week. The petunias are starting to come into their own a little bit. As you can see, all the pink. I have a lot of the poppies, the orange California poppies. Some of them are doubles. And I got one of those little solar fountains. I always wanted to get one of those. And it's wonderful. I have to fill it up a little bit. The hummingbirds love it. The birds love that. And I think I may not set up my big fountain. I'm just going to keep that little one. And this over here are the daylilies and columbine. My marigolds are all germinating and I thin them out. And more petunias there. And this is a sea holly right here. She is going to have thistle-like blue flowers, and she comes up every year. I just wanted some blue in here, so I have her and I have the other balloon flower, which is blue. I mean, they're true blue, you know, not reddish. And there are my sorbet peonies. Look at those. It's such a good year for peonies. And I had to take down my greenstock tower because we're having work done on that window. The last window on there, there was a crack in it. So they came and replaced it, but when they were putting it in, that one cracked. So now we have to wait for them to come back. So I had to clear out my tower that was there, and it was easier to just take off each tier instead of moving the whole thing. So we took them down, and I put the tiers here, and all the seeds, the herb seeds and the onion seeds, dill. My lettuces are coming in. Here's more lettuce in here, coriander. The marigolds are doing well. And I'll show you these sorbets. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at this. Look at that. There's a real dark dusky pink petal on the bottom. Then the next one up is more like a cantaloupe, a peachy color. And then it turns into a lighter peach and then almost like a raspberry sherbet. And that's why I guess they call it sorbet. Oops. Sorry, I just lost my sandal climbing. Here's another beauty right here. These are so pretty. Here the bee balm is coming in, and when this bee balm blooms, it seems like there's a million bees on it. It has pink flowers, and it just attracts the bees like you wouldn't believe. The hosta bed is coming in. The babies that I planted are getting bigger. And the Siberian irises are all blooming in the back. Let's look at those babies. See, this is what I mean about I think the voles are eating something here, but she's getting bigger. And this one's massive. Beautiful. And this baby's doing well. These little babies. And this baby. So my nurseries, I'm happy with my nursery. It's nice and shady down here. And let's go quickly look at that tiger lily. So the tiger lily is getting taller. It's the most upright lily. And I call that my Capryland's tiger lily. I need to go back in there and start pulling out those ferns that just invade everything. But that'll take 10 minutes. My knockout rose is has a couple of roses on it. I sprayed it against the lice, and it seems to be doing okay. So I'll just keep babying it. And let's see what we got over here. So far, only 2 wax beans came up out of this container. I'm going to have to put more seeds in it. My green peppers are doing great. And what did I put in here? That looks like dill. So I have dill, cilantro, dill and cilantro and peppers in there. The sage is huge. Lots of sage. My rosemary plant is getting bigger. And I have several wax beans. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 plants came up in this container. Tarragon is growing. I never cut the chamomile because I was going to wait until the white petals went down and get the yellow flower heads. My burgundy beans are doing great. Lemon verbena is growing, as is the lavender, anise hyssop, and I have peppermint growing back there in a pot I dug into the ground, and also in that pot because they're invaders. So I cut the bottom of the pot out, buried that, filled it with dirt, planted my I think it's spearmint. One's spearmint and one's peppermint, and so they won't invade. The hydrangea that my daughter bought me for Mother's Day is doing beautifully. She went into shock a little bit, but she looks like she's perking up, and I'm getting a little flower. The flower buds are starting to pop open, and they're beautiful. It's a beautiful lime green and purple. It's just so pretty. And I have to fill the hummingbird feeder. So this whole bed is coming into its own. Everything's looking beautiful. The lawn up here was devastated by the voles over the winter, so we have to put some seed here and water it, put some fertilizer, and get the grass back into that spot. But my husband just mowed the other day, and everything looks so pretty. There's the peonies up there. And it's a quiet morning. Beautiful. Okay, folks, that's it for the garden update. When the other peonies bloom and I got the whole border in, I'll probably come back and just do a quickie. Have a wonderful day. Oops, I forgot. I just wanted to add that another plant that my friend Monique and I, which this plant comes from, is from the Chicago Botanical Gardens. This is a columbine, only it's a drooping columbine. I forget what they call it. But instead of the flowers growing up, these droop down. And Monique took the seeds from that plant, and I planted the seeds here, and the seeds took. So I was real happy to see that. And it's doubling. It's so pretty. Looks kind of blurry here. I'm not sure. I just wanted to show this side of the peony bed because I get some reds coming in. There's that red. And I think I have more reds. And these are going to be huge reds coming in here. Okay. Bye-bye.